Harley Davidson's toughest factory bike ever built. Now, it's not the Heritage, definitely not, and it's not actually a black street glide either, even though I'm biased. So what is it, a Fat Boy? A Fat Boy's iconic, it does look tough, but it's not the toughest. I'm talking about a bike with a much better stance than a Fat Boy, with a much meaner attitude. That's the bike we're gonna ride around on today. Let's check it out. So put in the comments, what have we got? What's gonna be the toughest factory bike ever made? Well, there's a bit of a clue there on the front wheel. You can see it peeking out. Put in the comments what you think it is before I unveil it. Can we see that? What do we think? Oh, here it goes. A reflector on the front forks. Can't be too tough, can it? All right, let's go. What do we got? It's a breakout. Right, so we're going to go into Harley Heaven in town in Melbourne, and we're going to check out the bike show that they've got happening. Taking Eric with me. And I've got this beautiful breakout. Check this out. Now this bike is a fun ride. You two are everywhere. Hey, Gail. How you going? Good? Thanks. So what does tough mean anyway? In the world of guys, that often means some scary looking dude who looks like he could kill you. My experience over the years is it's all about character and resilience. I've seen heaps of so-called tough guys fall, and I've seen a lot of other people stand up, people who you wouldn't think would have the character, the resilience, the hardness in them to stand up and be tough, and they did when the going got tough. Now this bike's got the stance to be a tough guy. The big question is, will it hold up? The breakout's been around for a while, probably 2012, 2013. When they first came out, they had a beautiful candy coloured paint job. I remember almost buying one, can't remember what happened. Today I've got this one in white onyx. It looks pretty good. The camera doesn't do it justice. It actually sparkles in the sunshine. It's got a very light metallic fleck through the paint. Now, of course, paint colour is subjective. I prefer my Harleys in black, but you can't deny this is an awesome looking bike. Talk about tough. Look at the stance on this bike. It's got an 18-inch rear wheel, 240 wide, and that's a big, wide tyre. It's got a 21-inch wheel on the front, and look at the rake on this bike. It makes it look like an iconic Harley Davidson, the way they should look.
Holy crap!
Put Harley's biggest engine, bar the CVOs, the 117 in this. Now this bike's from Harley Davidson Australia. They've put on a lot of Willie G accessories, and they've added a tuner and some mufflers. It goes pretty well. standard form it wouldn't have these mufflers and a lot of these accessories like the grips, the mirrors, axle nut covers, all of the foot pegs and the brake pedal and the gear lever. Added this great quick release sissy bar. I don't know if that belongs on a breakout. It looks better with a clean rear. So people are always going on about how breakouts don't turn and how uncomfortable they are. And that's what I really wanted to check out on this bike. Now, first of all, it is a stretched seating position. So if you're short, you're going to have to modify this bike a little bit or it's going to be uncomfortable. For my height, it's almost perfect. Got wide, straight drag bars, so you're sort of reaching out. There's no pullback on the bars, but I like that. It's a very aggressive riding position. It's also got forward controls, very different to the floorboards that I prefer and am very used to. And it's a surprisingly comfortable bike. I've been on it for like 2 hours at a time. You can easily get one petrol stop to the next, no problem at all. I'm 6'4", I would probably still raise the handlebars just a smidge. But if you're around, I don't know, if you're around, I don't know, 5'10" to 6'2", it's probably going to be pretty good. Now the handlebars are wide, they're almost as wide as the fairing on my Street Glide. Surprisingly though, you can split traffic a lot, no, it's not surprising at all. You can split traffic a lot faster on this bike than you can on the Street Glide. Not because it's much thinner, it just gives the appearance of being thinner. And I think when I'm riding it, it's a much more aggressive position. On my Street Glide with the higher bars, it's like you're the king of the road. But on this, you get a scowl on your face. You really want to be aggressive because it is an aggressive riding position. But like I said, I find it very comfortable. Now the seats on the newer Harleys are a lot better than they used to be. This seat looks particularly good. I like it. It's very firm, so I don't know how it's going to go on, say, a day ride compared to an aftermarket seat. But so far it's been good. I like a firm seat. I've had no problems at all with comfort. You probably have to do about 2,000-3,000 kilometres till you get a really good feel for it. Now the big question is, can you corner these things? And there is no question, this is a cruiser, and with the rake and the back tyre, you can feel that it is harder to get around corners, but it's not actually a problem. Well, it's a problem if you just love going around corners all day long and canyon carving. You'd probably get yourself a lowrider or a Street Glide. The touring bikes corner really well. The lowrider's got a lot of lean angle. This has got neither, but it's adequate. You see on this, you've only got a lean angle of about 26 degrees compared to, say, the Street Glide's got, I think, 32, 33 degrees lean angle. And then, of course, you've got the forks raked out to 34 degrees. Compare that to a Fat Boy, that's 30 degrees. Compare it to my Street Glide, that's only a 26 degree rake. So you can see why people are struggling around the corners. I think with my weight though, I can push it around, muscle it through the corners without too much problem, but it is slower to turn. Comes with all the modern features, traction control, ABS brakes, and the brakes work really well on modern Harleys. There's no more complaining and whinging about Harley brakes. Now this is not a standard bike, it's got a tune, and traditionally Harley tunes are pretty conservative. I'm telling you now, you're going to be happy. Most people are going to be happy with the pace of this bike. It really does go well. It's got a lot of low down torque. It really does go. Sitting at the lights the other day, a young guy in a Tesla wanted to have a go. I thought he'd be able to kill me. Dispatched him very quickly. So it's got some go. And then of course I was riding with a mate of mine who's got a touring bike with a nicely tricked up engine kit. Now this bike's lighter, so it's got an advantage, but no problem at all keeping up with him during acceleration. His bike's a little bit faster. I was surprised and very happy with the performance of this bike. Even the suspension's good on this bike. I don't know if you'd use it for much else other than a highway cruiser with the versatility to do everything else at a pinch. So the suspension, I wouldn't bother upgrading. I thought it was fine. So who's this bike actually for? I think it's for people who want a really good looking bike, something that they can modify and make look even better. Probably the reason that I keep hearing that the Breakout is the most popular bike in Australia. I don't know how it goes for the rest of the world. I know a lot of people love them because you can make them look really good. I've seen squillions of them that have been nicely tricked up around the world. It is a good looking bike and it's a great platform to do those modifications for. So for anyone who wants to look good, look cool, I reckon this is the bike for you. I think anyone looking for a Harley Davidson, unless they specifically want to go touring or hit the twisties quite aggressively and savagely, I think this bike is going to be suitable. because you can pretty much do everything with it and look tough in the process. Now, what about the negatives for this bike? And I am nitpicking because I can't really find anything that would put you off buying it. For example, the vibration in this bike is greater than the Street Glide. And I'll put that down to the forward controls being a little bit more solid mounted and the shorter straight handlebar. That's a guess though, but I can feel extra vibration, no big deal. And then you've got the cornering aspect. It doesn't turn nearly as fast as the Street Glide, but that turns pretty quick. You might say it's the worst turning bike in the Harley lineup, but you know, it turns. I did take it up and down the twisties many times, no problem at all. I did scrape, but you know, I scraped the Street Glide as well. I do weigh a bit, so I find it quite easy to throw all the Harleys around. I don't know what it's like if you're 60 kilos. It might be a bit harder, but you know, you counter steer and you turn. It's got the high flow air cleaner, which some people like the look of this one. I don't know, it's okay, but we're just nitpicking, aren't we? My leg does hit this, so it is sort of a bulky thing, but if you're, you know, a little bit shorter than me, you're not gonna have a problem. I mean, looks are subjective. Put in the comments, what would you do if you had this breakout? How would you modify it? I'd probably do narrower handlebars, that'd look cool, maybe a different air cleaner. So many possibilities, that's what's beautiful about Harley Davidson motorcycles.
Using all that's left, somewhere in your chest, on your sweetheart hit a mist. Oh, oh.